Hey guys, Knife Fiend here, back with another knife review video for you. Today I'm going to be looking at this knife right here, which is the Darrel Designs Custom Dominator 35. This knife was actually sent to me by a subscriber who picked this up at Blade Show, and he said this is something I absolutely had to check out, and I'm glad he did, because this is an excellent knife, and I'm honored to be able to make a video about it for him. And this knife right here is a custom knife designed by Darrel, who is based out of Texas, and he makes quite a few models. Known for his Dominator model. This Dominator 35 is just as good, but features just thinner handle scales and a tad bit smaller blade, coming in at just 3.5 inches. It is 154 cm and features these gorgeous highly polished satin grinds with a deep hollow grind that gives you this nice capable sweeping edge, as you can see there, combined with a false edge bevel on the top. It gives a nice swedge look, and it's a very aesthetically well done knife, I must say. I'm a big fan of the blade itself. I'm a big fan of the size. You'll notice the blade is actually much larger than the handle of the knife. Here, let me show you when it's closed. And by the way, this thing just freaking wants to close itself all the time, but more on that later. But you'll notice the blade is quite larger than the handle, so when it is deployed, it gives you a very large chunk of knife to use towards any task. I like that a lot about this knife. I really like the blade. I like how it has just very clean satin flats. It's just 100% well done, nothing overdone, and I think his maker's marks are some of the best in the game right now. Take a look at that American flag right there. I don't know if my camera will pick up quite all the detail, but it even has like all 50 stars in there. 100% well done, and that's something that's very cool. And he positioned this very perfectly to where it even shows where the knife is closed, making this a very photogenic knife, both open and closed. And you'll do a lot of that with this knife. This knife rides on his classic Maxx glide pivot system, and it lives up to that name. This is probably the smoothest knife I've ever handled. Like, even when you try to close it, it was gonna freaking close itself. This knife is effortless, and it's all thanks to his Maxx glide cage pivot system. And it's really interesting to feel just quite how smooth this knife is for its price point. I felt a lot of knives. I have over 30 videos all on knives, mostly flippers, and this knocks the action out of those completely out of the water. This is a smooth knife. This right here could honestly write the definition in the book about it. Like, this is hands down one of the best, and I wouldn't even argue that it could compete with things like the high-end limited production stuff like the Grismo and some of the other stuff coming out that's upwards of $600 to $800. And this right here, this guy, my viewer, told me he bought this for $495. They actually just listed a whole bunch of these things on knifecenter.com, and they're anywhere between $465 and $495. But I really think that's one heck of a knife for this price point. If you don't have any super crazy materials, this is just titanium and 154 cm, something we've all seen plenty of times. It's just the execution here and how well done it is. And I think it's something you really have to handle to appreciate. And once in hand, good luck getting it out of your hand. I'll just say that right now, because as a collector, just handling this has gave me something to kind of shoot for and establish my goals, because I am just like a lot of you viewers. This is a very expensive knife. I won't hinder on that at any point. It is a $500 titanium 154 cm blade knife. That's expensive, to say the least. But there's aspects of this knife that make it very clear to me. There's no overlooked detail. Like right there, just take a look at the jimping he's done on the lock insert right there, just that way you get a little bit more traction whenever you go to disengage a lock. And you try to keep it symmetrical, and so it's done there on both sides. And it's not just cut and jimping, it's actually rounded and crowned. It's just no detail about this knife is overlooked. Very just excellent done chamfering, smooth, no raw edges, and it's a knife you can feel comfortable in buying, and it's definitely something you can feel comfortable spending $500 on. I will say that, because it's earned it. I'm also a big fan of this pivot. It looks like it might be proprietary, but after further inspection you'll notice it's actually just a large Torx you just put in there and adjust. Very nice if you ever wanted service. I doubt you would ever have to, and I'm willing to guess he would take care of anything for you. Nothing special on the pocket clip or backspacer, you know. They're both just titanium, actually not even anodized like the handle scales are, and that's done in purpose to keep the cost down. You'll notice there is kind of a production feel of this knife, but it is very limited and probably highly overseen by them specifically, because this knife is beyond perfect in my eyes. It really is. There's no detail overlooked. Nothing I would have done better. There is, I mean, this knife ergonomically isn't something that's a marvel, and actually there is one hot spot that I feel like some people would come into, and that's the jimping here on the flipper. I don't have the largest of hands, so someone with a little bit larger hands may run into an even larger hot spot right there, but it's nothing you can't overlook. And I actually kind of like it because that right there provides a nice deep finger guard, and it gives the knife a very tactical feel. You know, this thing's not going anywhere once you're gripping it. It's locked in there, you know what I mean, both vertically and horizontally, with this nice, you know, outcrop right there, and this flipper that acts both have like a blade guard. It's very nicely thought out design. And that's another thing I want to mention. Darrel's designs are both, they have their best of both worlds. Aesthetically pleasing, and they're very functional. The milling on the outside, some may just think it's for visual sakes, but that actually lightens up the knife. There's none of that on the inside of this knife. There's no, you know, milling in there. It's actually just flat scale, so that's the only weight reduction done to this blade, and it's still pretty light. This thing comes in at just under 8 inches total overall length, just over 4 inches close, and it probably weighs just over 5 ounces, and that's pretty light for a decent chunk of titanium you get here in this package. And you know, still have the nice section for a very large lanyard if you wanted, paracord, whatever you would have you. Something you could do custom just to make sure this sucker wasn't going anywhere out of your pocket, because I know I would hate to lose this. It is a very well done knife, and something, if you're into that higher mid-tech range, something you should be looking into, because most mid-techs are priced right around $400, $350. You know, just for a tad bit outside that reach, you can get a custom DDR and you're going to be impressed. And frankly, everyone you show is going to be impressed as well. So definitely check these out if this is your cup of tea. You're not going to have any issues with this knife at all. You might develop a slight obsession to flipping it, and that's about it. But you know, everything's going to be dead center, rock solid lock up there, no blade play whatsoever. You know, excellently done grinds, no mistakes there at all. Gorgeous high satin finish. You know, use this thing as a mirror when you wake up in the morning. This thing's very well done, and you know, it's something that's going to be capable as well, and it's going to be a nice pocket rider. I like the fact that it's designed, the 35 is designed to be easier to ride in your pocket, because this does feel like, you know, if you're comfortable with carrying this expensive a knife, this does feel like something you could easily carry every single day. You know, as long as you don't find that blade large and murdery, which, you know, I don't. I actually think it's a very functional design and almost a timeless design that I think we'll continue to see a while. That large sweeping belly provides great use for any sort of EDC task. You know, this is going to be an excellent slicer. Use this to scrape something up. Whatever you need to do, still going to be able to do it, and it's going to do it in flying colors, and then just fall closed whenever you're done doing it. So this is an excellent knife. Thank you very much to my subscriber that sent this out to me. You know, if you guys are ever interested in sending me out a knife, just send me a message either on YouTube or Instagram, and I'll get back to you and let you know. You know, I'll probably end up taking a look at it unless it's something that is much older that I don't think my audience would be interested in, or, you know, something that I've already done. But, you know, the table is open, so really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video. Make sure to leave a comment below, like, comment, and subscribe. Knife Fiend out. Peace. Make sure to go check these out at knifecenter.com. Pick them up while they still last.